laughing because it's this wonderful, powerful energy right now um, of the super new moon. And with Scorpio, diving deep down into the murky waters. Sometimes they're murky, sometimes they're very clear. And I don't know about you, but I've been feeling waves today of murky and clear, murky and clear, those waters and the energies coming in. And I was going to do an animal medicine, because, but the thing I received when I was asking what is coming in, what is it that I need to pass on today, what is it, what energy needs to be shared, and I kept getting star beings, and so star beings it is. But I will say with this day, this energy, this opening, this opportunity, because new moons are opportunities. They're opportunities that we continue to cross the threshold. We continue to walk through that gateway of new path, new journey, reconfiguring, reweaving, right? And so it offers us an opportunity to bring in the light, to reseed ourselves. And I feel the Arcturians, the Lyrans, the Pleiadians here right now, and the Syrians. And they're saying, reseeding yourself. This is a time right now where you find those deepest desires. Not, I know we've talked about shadows lately, but those deepest desires, and bring them to the surface, allow them to be seen, allow them to sparkle and shine, acknowledge them, acknowledge that this is how you feel, this is your heart calling to you. And with this, it's very cold outside today. I'm like, burr. Even inside, I'm trying to stay warm. I have my woolens on, but it's really cold out. And while it's invigorating to have that cold air coming in, I know some of you are moving into the warm season. So think about how you inhale that nutrients if it's cold, and how your body has to work to warm it. If it's warm, how your body works to cool it, and what that means, right? Yes, I see in the chat. I almost brought my blanket to put on to wrap around right now, but the energy is running through me, so they're warming me up right now. But the starlight that I see that's coming in, these beings, this is an opportunity. We're walking through we're crossing a threshold right now, okay? And what do we want to cross it with? What do you want to hold in your vibration? What do you want to attune your vibration to? What do you want to sing as you're crossing that threshold? What do you want your body to sing, your mind to sing, your auric field to sing? What do you want your heart to sing? Because your heart is the most pure, right? The most pure, not the head, dropping it down into the heart. And taking an inhale and feeling, I feel so much, it's that lapis color blue and that really bright silver. It almost looks like lightning to me, swirling around in the blue. And I see these waves, and they do look like tendrils, golden tendrils coming in with that starlight. And again, the Arcturians, the Pleiadians, the Lyrans, the Syrians are asking you to work, to open and work with them, open to their message. And I've had questions, well, how do I do that? Everybody has their own unique way of listening, speaking with, opening, and receiving the information. So something that I kept hearing repeatedly for all of us, repeatedly over and over, is open your heart, stay in your heart center, keep your heart open, because when you open your heart and you hold the vibration of the moment. Okay, so let's say in this moment you want to feel delight. You hold that delight. I hold my heart open, vibrating, singing, dancing in delight, dancing in love, dancing in passion, dancing in healing, whatever it may be. And that vibration comes in and it infuses and it goes out, right? And so you're doing this exchange with the world, with the energies around you, with your reality that you're creating. You're the weaver of your reality. And I'm seeing this beautiful lapis color. So it's that really deep lapis blue, okay? And so again, with the gold and the silver, tendrils and lightning. And if you can just take a moment for yourself, this is how they want to connect with you, is you taking a moment to do something that's joyful. And if it's joyful for you to take peace and quiet and sit and listen and stare out the window, or to just close your eyes, take a deep breath or lie down and take a respite, right? A quiet time for yourself, 5 to 15 minutes. Taking an inhale and exhale and feel the lapis color wrapping around you like a cocoon. But what it is it's a light. It's this beautiful, it's like a temple of light or a cocoon of light wrapping around you. And as it does this, you will feel your body begin to shimmer, if you will, or vibrate is another word. And the vibration begins to meld, your vibration and this light's vibration begins to meld and weave together. And as it does so, you begin shifting your reality and your body, your physical body, your energetic bodies begin to change, and they're open. It's like a doorway that opens up and says, okay, now what do you want? What vibration do you want to hold? What thought do you want to hold? And that doesn't mean that we grip onto it with tight fist or, pincers, right? That's not what it means. It means singing. What vibration do you want to sing? What vibration do you want to move in? Do you want to feel in? Do you want to drop down into? And so allow yourself to think about that. What is it that I want to feel right now? What do I want to sing out to the world and receive back in? Because it begins, when we do that, it begins immediately shifting. So there were a couple of things this morning that seemed kind of caught in the network of red tape, okay, with some paperwork and other things that I was trying to do. And so I sat and felt that lapis color because they kept talking about that and those tendrils of gold and silver lightning coming in. And suddenly I said, yes, you know what? This is going to clear. I can feel it. I'm sitting in this vibration that I choose, because that is actually something I can shift. I can shift that caught wheel over there, that red tape. And so I started singing to that. And an hour later or less, it had moved, it had cleared, it had shifted its vibration. And so what we want to see, when people say, well, be or sing or do what you want to see in the world, and the world is your reality, your weaving, right? And so allow yourself to sit for a moment with that blue lapis color, those colors and those cocoons or temples wrapping around you. And it might be just that tunnel of light or that close-knit woven blanket around you. It might feel that way. But it's going to come in and, again, shift and open you up to, okay, opportunity. And today's a great day to do it. Tomorrow's a great day to do it. So you can do this. You can do this as the portal stays open with Samhain, right? It allows support, more support. So when portals are open, new moons are here, there's just more support, more support for opportunity to allow creation and for you to be open to weaving and creating and bringing to you and sending out. And it's just easier communication in that way, if you will. Okay. And so to connect with those star beings that are calling you, those of you that are listening, that's you, that are calling you, you can call them by name, or you can intend to connect with them. You can open your heart and say, I receive the compassion, the unconditional love of the messages, of the key coding, of the awakening, of remembrances now that I need for myself now in this moment. And you know, many people ask me about star beings. Someone said, well, what if I want to call him Bridget? Well, Bridget was a star being. In my understanding, and me working with her for a long time, she's part Fae, and many of the Fae are from the stars. You know, I mean, I feel like that we all originally came there, but they are very connected to the stars, as is Lou and others that you may know in that sense. Merlin, of course. But, you know, you are as well, right? And so allowing yourself to do something creative, something that feels like joy or calm, or opening that doorway for yourself so you can cross that threshold, okay? And yes, you can call upon fairies in the same way. That's a great question. And you can just call them by name, or you can say, I call on the Fae or fairies, if you're more comfortable with that word, the elemental beings as well, and they're more of the elements, right? There are stone beings, earth beings, things, you know, fire beings. But calling in the Fae or the fairies, you can just say, I call upon the fairies of light. And I like to add that little. Because there are other fairies, but I call on the fairies of light. And you can even say their name. They're there. They're there when you call on them. They're there. They hear the call. They're always curious, but they feel the open heart. They feel that beautiful sense of compassion. And through that, they trust, just like we do. When we feel someone's heart open, and when we open our heart, we trust more, don't we? We trust ourselves, we trust others. Okay, and it's first trusting ourselves. And so with the fairies, I always like to call them in when I do something. You can be quiet and serious, you know, in that contemplative state of being if you want. I like to be by plants or outside, or, you know, have a crystal with me because they like those connections. It's a little bit stronger for them. But I always open my heart and say, I mean, we want to keep our hearts open all the time, right? But I always say, I take a deep breath and make sure that I've connected to the earth, because they can feel us when we've connected down into the earth. And when we are open to receiving, open to giving, open to love, like that, right? I am my highest heart. I am living love. And so repeating that, taking deep breath, inhaling and exhaling, and then calling on them. And they do bring magic. And they bring lightning sometimes for you to go. They bring support and say, okay, we're here. So are you going to do this? Because we're going to help you. You asked for help. So let's do teamwork. And they're going to be pow with it. Some of them. Bridget's a little bit more gentler than Lou, at least that's my experience. Right. Well, just like, thank you. Just like, that's a great question. How do we know that they're around us and they're with us? Just like the angelic beings, the star beings, they have a vibration. And so if we're talking about the Fae, the vibration will be a little bit, to me it's a little bit denser, okay, than the angelic beings, right? It's a little bit denser than the star beings. So they're a little bit more, you can feel, I usually feel a sense of deep seriousness, depending on who I've called upon that's Fae. I'll have images of earth and plants, and you know, sometimes you might hear them in your mind. You might feel like that's yourself speaking in your mind. But the air shifts around you. You feel like someone's there, or you feel like something is there with you, that the density in the air has changed, the vibration, the frequency has shifted around you, right? Sometimes you might hear something physically, you know, auditorily, sometimes maybe in your inner ear, and it could be music. Sometimes I hear the music when I hear the Fae. With the angelic beings, I feel calm, serene. With the Fae, I feel a little bit more excited or excitable. You know, the energy's a little bit more curious and can be more intense, right? Sometimes they'll physically touch us to let us know that we're there. But the angelic beings, they're very high vibrating, and we might see those sparks through, you know, the periphery, and we might feel comforted when we're not feeling comforted suddenly when the angelic beings come in. Also, you might feel a little bit woozy or lightheaded. You might have, you know, a little bit of tingling going on your head, the back of your neck. I find that with the angelic realm and the star beings. They have very high vibrations, so I feel, I start feeling a little bit, sometimes I might feel a little out of body if I'm not so grounded, and I need to re-ground myself a little bit more by seeing me growing roots from my tailbone down into the earth, or if I'm standing my feet down into the earth, and starting those roots right from my heart. I like to send it down, that love, unconditional love, down into the earth, and rooting and seeing those roots growing down there, down through my earth star, down into the earth herself. And so there are different ways that people can feel them around. Sometimes things will be moved around, or you'll get ideas that are comical or humorous popping in your mind if it's Fae. Also, you might get a sharp little push if it's Fae, and not in an unkind way, but like a action time, you know, well, go. And so if you were delaying on something, you might get a well, go. What are you waiting for? Feeling, okay. But I also can see them shifting behind the veil there, and they seem, I can see movement in the air sometimes. Sometimes it's with my inner eye, and sometimes it's physically, but I can see the air kind of shift around me. And maybe, you know, if I'm looking at the wall, maybe the wall looks like it has a slight little whoop, warp in it. I don't know if that makes sense, but the angelic beings and yeah, and the star beings are very high vibrating. So I oftentimes feel like my crown chakra and all of the other higher ones are expanding. My head feels very light weighted, very tingly on top, tingly in the back here, in the back of my neck. My heart feels very open. So, yeah, exactly. I feel my body temperature begins to change depending on who I'm connecting with, but always if I'm connecting with light and like the Fae that are the light Fae, loving, and they're very big beings. I mean, they're huge. They're not these small little fairies. Those are flower fairies. Those are different, and angels. But my body temperature rises. I become very warm. I never get cold when I connect with light. Okay, I just feel very warm. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I'm having some activity in here today. But I hope that answers your question. And what I'm hearing is going upside down, right? So if you're having a moment where you're feeling tired, because I feel like that the energies of today and tomorrow will be these dips in energy, and then rise and then dip, and then rise and then dip, you know. So, and it's just about energy needing to rest, needing to go within, that kind of cocooning feeling, and then needing to burst forth and take an action. So I feel like it'll be quiet and then action and quiet. So it's this contract and release, contract and release. This week will be happening. And while I'm on that, I'm just listening to them. We have an event tomorrow. So if you want to join us at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. UK time, Soul Alchemy, Resurrecting Your Column of Light. And that's, we have the Samhain portal and we have the new moon, the super moon that brings an expanded opportunity, an expanded energy. And you can find that at melissavirtue.com. Yes, I'm excited. Myself and Alice Heath will be facilitating that. And I'm really excited about it. It's going to be very powerful. And it's live. So if you can't make it live, you can always catch the replay. All right. So join us if you feel the call. We would be so honored to have you there with us. But I'm going to say one more thing here because they're talking very quickly. So with our heart going upside down in perspective, right? So if you're feeling like you've seen something or someone else is in fear, or, you're feeling like you are having trouble opening and allowing your heart to feel compassion, right? It's taking that deep breath and calling on your highest self, calling on the cosmic heart to help you break through that, to open and expand through that, and to go upside down. Look at a different perspective, Look at those people around you as aspects of yourself. Those people around you as children that need the connection and feeling unafraid. Because, when people get really aggressive or violent in many ways, they're very afraid. When they say things that are unkind, they're really talking about themselves and how they feel about themselves. And so sometimes we just need to go upside down to look at a different perspective of what's really going on here, right? So we can detach calmly to look at the whole picture, right? And so right now, talking about this column of light, right? And you'll find out what the column of light is if you join us tomorrow. It's really powerful, and it goes back ancient times. They were teaching this and bringing in the information. Right? They always, that's where it comes from. We are ancient, aren't we? So transmutation, purification. So when you connect with the star beings that are calling right now for you to connect with, when you connect with them, you will feel that if you wrap yourself with that lapis color and allow yourself to breathe in it. Perhaps you want to dance. Maybe you want to see yourself wrapped in this beautiful lapis temple as you begin dancing, as you begin moving. Because I find personally that the movement, and I've heard from others say that movement helps you drop down out of your head, helps you drop into your heart space, helps you raise your kundalini, that fire. And that fire is transmutation, it is purification, it is, the molding, the melding, the alchemy of transforming, right? And so anytime we raise that light within us, and we have, the light coming in from the higher frequencies, right? And we bring that in as we're moving, we're able to integrate it. We're able to move out things quicker and bring that higher vibrating light in and integrate that. We're able to, our bodies open up in its space. So if you imagine, if you've ever seen an acorn, we've been playing with acorns at my house for a little bit here. So it's really this hard shell, right? And then when you break it open, it has all of its little acorn flour. People bake with acorn flour, right? So it's like acorn food for the squirrels, acorn flour, and it's all these little sprinkles of dust everywhere, or the food inside, and it goes everywhere in one acorn, right? Because one acorn grows a giant oak tree. One, yeah. So when you move your body and you begin dancing, what you're doing is you create space and you're opening your body. Your body is expanding. Your light is expanding. Your physical body is actually expanding. The energy, that you're creating around yourself, your auric field, everything begins expanding. Your chakra systems, everything begins expanding as you start moving. Even if it's small movement at first and then it becomes bigger. But it's about you really being in that present moment of moving, okay? And the more you move, the more you begin expanding. And as you expand, if you imagine your antenna, I call it antenna, so I'm like, what is that called? That's called a spine. You imagine your spine growing, right? You're creating space within each vertebrae. And so creating space within your body even more and more, you're able to bring that light in. And it goes throughout that space and begins recreating, reweaving, and moving, integrating, lifting you higher, bringing in higher information so that you can integrate it and it's not too much for you. It doesn't burn you out, right? Because the right amount comes in. All right. They're saying, okay. And so that's what you can also do is move. I always will invite you to dance. Dance and sing from your heart. Movement is so sacred. It not only raises our kundalini and shakti and helps us embody the divine, masculine and feminine. It's healing. It's awakening. It brings us into alignment. Again, I mean, with our highest heart, with the cosmic heart, right? So I invite you to move and move with that lapis around. Move with that sacred movement. Okay, well, thank you. Move with that lapis. Imagine that lapis around you. Or if you have a lapis crystal, hold it or wear it or place it somewhere. Or deep colors of blue, if you can put those on you while you're moving. And yes, even you men, moving. I'm so glad you love to dance. Dancing is it's a sacred prayer. It's a soul expansion. It is a soul integration. It is a communion with the divine, with the one true heart. It is a communion with one's highest self and one's soul family. Yes, absolutely. And it's also a universal language. Movement is universal language, right? So when we move, we're allowing ourselves to be. So don't be afraid. If you need to talk with someone or say something to someone and you're nervous and you're thinking, oh gosh, I don't know what they're going to think of me. I don't know how this is going to come across. Yes, you can call upon your angelic beings. You can call upon the star beings. You can call upon all of your teams of light. But calling upon your higher heart, pow, right? Because it's being trusting of yourself. So you call upon your higher heart and allow yourself to move for a minute. And just allow that energy to rise. And breathe as you move. And allow that energy to build, allow that fire to build, allow the exchange of the compassion to come in and expand. And then contact that person, write that email, send that text, send that voice note, say what needs to be said, and see what happens, right? So I do teach maybe it's a secret. I teach sacred movement. That's funny. Yeah. So I teach sacred movement, and you can find that at melissavirtue.com. And it's not really even teaching, it's just facilitating, helping us get into that place. So you can find that on my website. I love it. Secret Sacred Movement. Secret no more. Thank you. So, yeah. As I've said before, I'm not sure English is my first language. None of ours really, right? I mean, none of our languages on this earth is really our first language. Light is, isn't it? Love. Love is our first language. So, there we have it. Love is your first language. You are living love. Thank you for joining me. I'm always honored. Please send me any questions, anything you want me to discuss at awakening@melissavirtue.com. And I bow to you. I thank you. And I thank you for singing your heart, for dancing your voice because you are a unique spark of the divine, right? So your dance, your song, your heart matters. Thank you. So much love and many blessings to you.